Christmas thing, like. You instead of three, you just say.
Right, yeah, no, just right.
She's like,
I'm gonna head the meeting, Cody.
Yeah, do I have to identify Parks and Rec staff?
No, roll call. I have the roll call. I can do the roll call. That's fine.
All right. Going to call the Parks Recreation Conservancy Committee meeting for Monday, February 16th to order.
Trustee Bratton,
Here.
Ron Nutowski, Jennifer Bonte,
Here.
Jed Henry,
Here.
and Emily Spahn.
Here.
Now to public comment.
I want you to ask Michael if he has any public comment.
Yeah. Michael, do you have any public comment?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Yep.
Great.
Here, you got anything?
I don't, can I comment later?
Yeah,
Or it's on one of your agenda items.
Okay.
no public comment. We'll go into reports. I don't have anything. To report, and committee members have anything? No. Parks and Rec staff, do you have anything to report?
No.
All right, so we'll move into the committee discussion and possible action to approve the minutes of September 29th, 2025.
I was going to do an update on behalf of the director since we don't have a
Oh, yeah.
position. I was just, that's okay. I just wanted to just give like a brief, I know we're gonna talk about this a little bit more, but the director search is still ongoing. And so it will close on Friday, or I'm sorry, on next Monday, the 23rd, at 10 a.m. So if you know of anyone who wants to apply, the application is out there. I'll talk about it a little bit more, but just wanted to let you know that that's where we stand for that. Wanted to just give a big thanks to Jill, Matt, and Dane for all of their help during this period. I know this has been a longer period than we expected it to be without a director. So just very grateful for the Parks and Rec team. I was also just listening to the minutes from the last time you all met, and Mike had kind of talked about the Light Up Cross Plains event and Chris Kindle Market, and just wanted to give a recap and on that whole event. It went very, very well. So Rachel Adams had planned, that was her like part two. She had done the Oktoberfest and then she had done the Chris Kindle Mart in conjunction with the Light Up Cross Plains. And yeah, it was very successful. It was fun to utilize the new pavilion space, and to have s'mores and everything under there, which is very exciting, and to have some music as well. And then Trout Days planning is already full steam ahead. So Jill and I have been a part of those planning meetings. Everything will be kind of at that pavilion. So there's going to be some big bands, bigger than they've ever had. And then they're hoping to do a ribbon cutting early in that morning. So it's going to be kind of like, we're still trying to figure it out with the 5K as well. But then they're going to kind of do a ribbon cutting, like to start off the day on Saturday. And then they'll be using the space. They're going to move the beer into the park as well. So the Lions want to have serve the beer kind of like adjacent to the pavilion. And so that's something that we're working on internally as far as like liquor licensing and, you know, where they can serve and all of that kind of stuff. But
What's the date?
May 2nd. And then Rachel Adams is also planning to be doing this art fair on the creek. So she's going to be having some vendors down by the creek as well. So she's getting involved in all the things. And then, also Jill is working on our summer concert series, which we're going to have this year at the new pavilion. We're going to kick that off. And everybody's very busy getting ready for summer programming and all of the things. So just a little heads up on all of those items.
That just made me remember good work on summer activity guide.
That was primarily.
It was well done. All right, now we'll move into committee discussion. Discussion and possible action to approve the minutes of September 29th, 2025.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from September 29th, 2025. I'll second it.
I have a
Have they
motion.
seen anywhere?
Yep, I put them in the packet this
Yeah,
morning.
it's at the
Mhm.
first page of the.
I put it in the packet this morning.
We just didn't know, it's
I look-
March
it's interesting.
29th, 2020. We're like, oh, this is old.
But I'll give you a second to look at it.
Yes, please. Can't imagine there was anything that,
I had to reread it back. Yeah.
Is it, I think it's the first meeting since the park was finished and it. Seawood Valley too.
Yeah.
The one that we, like, had to rush in.
Yeah, so that's what was on here was about the conceptual plan for Scenic Valley and then you approved the kind of
Okay.
rushing in of the $40,000 park
Alright,
or
okay.
playground.
All right. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
I,
All opposed. Motion carries. Discussion regarding pool update.
Yeah, so we just had a meeting about this. But I wanted to make sure that it was on this agenda as well. So discussion was specifically regarding the fundraising and kind of just kicking that process off. So letters of support will be solicited from business owners and then Stingray's families. Then we're going to start looking into fundraising itself and what that process might look like a tiered kind of approach or what other communities have been doing. And then I'll be working on getting a page on the website for the pool project. Not necessarily as a project, but more as just like the pool itself. And then including some of the reports that have already been done and photos, and just kind of as a space for us to collect everything. And then also as people are interested in, potentially donating, they have things to read up on and have an idea of the history. Did I miss anything?
And I don't know if Jen heard this, but I'm not sure if it's on part of the finance committee, but it sounds like Cameron is going to be approaching finance committee about getting some data pulled together about the potential operating costs of the facility.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I left finance.
Oh, you did, okay, but anyway, so that's.
Do you think that's the extent of the pool update?
Do we know? Is Marchstone gonna contribute, or are they gonna put in their own park? Has there been any more discussion there?
So we are going to be talking about a park location
Yeah, that-
later on today.
We'll talk about it later then.
Yeah, let's talk about that later. But as far as the pool, I don't think that there will be any funds allocated specifically. I think they're kind of hoping that since we waived some of the, we're hoping that since we waived some of the fees for like the Conservancy and things like that for phase 1, that in phase 2, some of those fees can be used. But yeah, we'll talk more about that later on.
And then is Stingrays have an alumni list?
so it's funny, I was just looking on the website and I can see 158 accounts that are like hidden. So I'm guessing those are past families or alumni. I don't know that we have any actual alumni, but if I get permission from the board, I can probably send all those people who have that possibilities too.
Do you guys do any like yearly? You have like an awards banquet, or do you have anything to like recognize alumni?
Not really alumni, no, right, I mean,
Well, we invite during the swim meet alumni, it's pretty informal, if they wanna come back, right?
I mean, I just wonder if, I mean, there's obviously a potential for a good source of revenue from people that have taken advantage of the pool and the facilities, and if you're gonna try and do that, that maybe, if they say butter the bread before you're hungry and have some kind of an event to reach out to alumni before you just, go out and ask for money.
yeah. I know, I was thinking that I wouldn't be clear. I think part of the problem is it's all families and then they go off and you're adults and so,
Yeah.
like other than even like somebody's mom from like 10 years ago, we don't necessarily have a way to communicate with people who are now adults.
Can you look up like the record holder, so like who has the pool record?
I mean, do you guys have?
They're all there still.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Do you
No.
have an alumni like Facebook page, Stingray Facebook?
No,
And
just
that's kind of like you did that, like for the wrestling team that I was on, they have, you know, these pages and then that brings all the people in and you can give news and kind of updates and you slowly start collecting all those people and it's not, you know, I mean, email everybody, you can just post updates in there.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, and that would be a great idea. I think what's hard is like, I can think of like the alumni who would be like 10 years ago, like, but Stingrays has been around for 50+ years, so like
Mhm.
there's so many. Maybe that's something we could start and just see how many people we could get on the alumni page. So that's where we find the secret millionaire. Hi, billionaire. Okay, secret billionaires.
All right, discussion regarding Parks and Recreation Director recruitment process.
Yeah, so as I had mentioned before, this is our second round. The first one did not pan out. We had a candidate that we really liked, so there was a hiring committee. And we brought that candidate to the board, and the board wanted to put them back in like our step process for longevity. And the candidate was like, this actually is a worse offer than I had before. And so they declined the offer. And then so yeah, we had proposed to the village board last week or last month an opportunity to potentially divide the position into two, to make a director of recreation and aquatics and then a parks superintendent type position. And the intention was to kind of promote Dane into that position. But the village board did not go for that. So they requested that we repost the position as is. We did make a couple of tweaks to it. There was a lot of interest among the village board to make the position a little bit more accessible to candidates with a little bit less experience. So we did, you know, change some of the wording to like must have 5 years of experience or like to say like preferred, you know, things like that, just to soften it a little bit. But other than that, it was ultimately the same job description that we posted. And so far we have 7 applicants. Last I checked today, and they still have a week to apply. So we do have some candidates from the first round that applied again. So yeah, we'll see what we get. And yeah, I'll report out to the village board on the 23rd as well, just with, you know, how many candidates we have and then what the next steps are. So yeah, any questions or want to discuss that anymore?
Total number of applicants, and I don't know if you have any information or data, like, did you have any expectations about? It would have been like a healthy mix or a pool if X people apply, like, do you feel like
Yeah.
we're on the low, kind of where it's at, on the high side as applicants go?
Yeah, I think the first time it was high. And I think that's because of the posting. So we put the entire salary range that, you know, for that position there. And so I think a lot of people were looking at the high end and like, we're like, whoa, that's really good. And so I think that's why we got the number of applicants we did. We also did see like in the first round, we had a lot of folks with with a lot of recreation experience and not as much parks. It's just something we saw, and I think that's pretty common. I've talked to some other Parks and Rec professionals, and they said, you know, it's a lot harder to get the parks experience. It's the rec experience is easier to come by. So yeah. So we'll see what we get. I mean, 7 is still like a respectable number. I mean, I think everybody was very excited that we had 25 for the first round. But like I said, I think by having that whole range out there, I think that might have been a little bit of false advertising or, you know, like, because that was like, that's like where you would get if you continue to stay with us, you could get to that point.
I was gonna say like, why was that number included if no one was like, what would you have needed?
Yeah, so it was just it was a weird situation, and I think it was just because we were like, oh, we have what was budgeted for Mike's position. You know, that's what we could offer a candidate, but that really wasn't what the board
Well, like only if
wanted.
you had,
I think it just shows the range of growth doesn't mean like, cause if you cap out, that means you're never gonna get answers.
Right.
So it's really to show you where you could grow in this position, other than where you're gonna land when you get your.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people were excited to be like, ooh, I could just start there.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we obviously had to pivot it a little bit
So you
and
changed that number?
we
on the
did.
chart.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you guys totally scrap the plan of breaking down the
Mhm.
jobs? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't hate that, but
It didn't seem like everyone did.
there was a couple that hated, right?
Yeah, so,
Conversations I had had with Mike, I thought it wasn't that far off. So,
no, so we'll see what happens, but I will keep this group updated. And I'll probably send you emails like I was kind of doing before, because I just wanted to make sure you all knew what was going on with it.
So, you know
Yeah.
what, so while we're talking about this position, I know
Yeah.
in the last village board meeting, Jay brought up that he had no idea that the committees were there. Our committee was not,
Uh-huh.
and I thought that was odd. I was like, why did our village president, like, we know we have a deficit, a hole in our director position.
Mhm.
Like, how does he not know, like, isn't there like, I'm assuming there's like a weekly stat that says, and the committee's having a meeting, or what did the
Yeah.
committee talk about?
Well,
Yeah,
there's-
that was kind of weird, am I?
Well, I mean, everything's posted on our website, like all of the agendas and meeting minutes and everything. So, as you know, meetings happen, everything gets posted.
Okay.
So you could absolutely see that. But I mean, it was the holidays. So there was like Thanksgiving, I think happened like right after Mike left, and then it was Christmas.
Yeah.
And then I think there was just like one meeting then that was missed,
Hmm.
which would have been the January
there
meeting,
were times.
which was, I think, MLK Day.
Oh.
There were
No, no, no,
times,
I
there were
guess-
times in the
I'm
past. though,
glad that he
kids-
knows that. I'm glad that the board knows that, like, we lost the director and there were, you know, and it
Yeah.
just seemed like nobody asked the question. Like,
Right.
are you
Yeah.
guys meeting?
I think probably the big difference is when Mike was here, Mike obviously did everything, Jay didn't notice it because Mike did.
It was just
everything.
happening. Yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
and then once that was no longer there, it was like, oh, well, that stuff just doesn't automatically get done.
No.
Because they
Right.
need somebody with that job.
And kind of initially too, Mike was like, well, I don't really have anything for, like, because I was like, oh, should I schedule a meeting right away? Yeah.
Is that he would be like, you know what, no, we're working on the witch program and, you know,
Yeah.
that's my experience with them.
Right.
It was that Jay brought up, and I thought that was odd, like, how do you know that? But anyway, now we're all good.
Yeah.
We're meeting.
Yes.
All right, discussion regarding Bear Park incident repairs.
Yeah, so I included some of the stuff in here for quotes. So this was back in October, I think it was October 29th is when that gentleman drove through Bear Park. And so there are quite a few repairs that need to happen. So the biggest damage was, so the gentleman drove through the tennis courts and then drove into the diamond or around the diamond. So he had, taken out some of the fencing over there. And then as far as the tennis courts, the sport court, which is the surface at the tennis courts, got very torn up. It's like one of those things, they come into pieces. They come in pieces, right? Yeah. They come in squares. And so some of them were messed up and some of them weren't, but ultimately that sport court is quite old. So we did put in a quote for the whole. So basically what we're doing is we're putting everything through Progressive. So we're going through the insurance of the driver. And so then everything, we'll get an estimate. Hopefully, I'm hoping this week, because there was this whole thing about here, you can put things here. Oh, but we need these. And then we need this. And so every time you upload something, it's like another week for them to process. So basically what they will do now that we've uploaded all of those quotes and like incident reports and photos and all of the things they've requested, they will then give us the estimate, and then we can go ahead and have everything repaired. So one of the weird things I found out is they don't make green fencing as readily anymore. That's something that's like more of a specialty product now. It used to be way more mainstream. And so the lead time for green fencing is a little bit longer. Also in repairing the fencing that's messed up, it's going to look a little spotty because all of our fencing is a little faded. And so when you put in the new fencing, so we'll see how it ends up looking. But that's one concern I do have is just like what that'll look like. But then, yeah, we do have a quote for the entire court, sport court. Sport court. Okay, I can say that.
I
Yeah,
assume the insurance company doesn't want to pay for the entire new fence.
of course not. No.
Well, but,
It's progressive.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just frustrating because then it doesn't match and it looks.
Right, it looks horrible.
Well, that's like when you total somebody's car and they give them $1,500 for it, like we had a working car.
I mean, I guess.
Now you're giving them
Yeah.
$1,500 for the, like.
And I had him put in both. Like I had him put in the repair and the full replacement. I had the Madison Funds Company do that. So like we are submitting that, but I mean, we're ultimately at Progressive's mercy to see what they're gonna give us.
So is the green fence more expensive? Or just harder to get?
It is a little bit more
'Cause I was like,
expensive.
would they be willing to pay for a not green fence and then get all of it?
I know that was something I had talked with the guy from Madison Fence Company about too. So he did put that, I think he put that in the quote as well. And then obviously the priority is gonna be the fencing for baseball fields. So we want to get that. As soon as I get the estimate, then we'll go ahead and have probably Madison Fence Company, or we had to get they wanted a second quote because I think they probably thought it was too expensive for Madison Fence Company. So we'll get that started because April is when baseball really ramps up. So we want to make sure that that's taken care of first.
I was confused by some of the documents and it was probably hard because the way I was looking at them, but
Yeah.
I thought I saw that we had a ballpark estimate and then a tennis court estimate.
These are quotes.
Oh, or the quotes, right?
Yeah.
The quotes, and then there were additional quotes behind it, because then there were like, once you get past the American Fence Corporation,
That's probably for the surface,
that was the surfacing court that you were talking about.
Yeah.
like $44,000 or something.
Yeah.
And they did this a couple of times.
Yeah, that was for sport court.
Where we could make it into a pickleball court and tennis court.
Right,
And
that's what I started thinking.
Yeah.
it's like weird lines, they just gave us a couple options.
Yeah.
Because it's a little bit bigger than a typical tennis court would be. Because if you look at like both ends of it. Like we have like long enough on both ends where you could do pickleball in there as
I
well.
see,
So he threw that in as an option.
okay.
Yeah. But I just wanted to provide an update on how that was going. Please.
Okay, so there's such a thing that I haven't, and my daughter is begging me about this because she hates this surface. And I don't know if you play tennis on it, I have, it definitely feels very different than any other tennis court I've ever played on. I have never seen a tennis court like this before. And it's like, the ball does not bounce at the same height as it normally, like on most courts. So like,
Mhm.
I just wonder if we could look at a different surface.
Just paint,
Actually.
Paint it and paint it.
Well, I am not, again, like, I don't actually know what goes into doing tennis courts, I just know that this one is odd. And I know it's old, so that and I told her, I'm like, this would be a new one, but I guess I wasn't sure why we have this for our tennis court versus.
I assume it was a cheap alternative, because one of the problems you'll have is when we have pickleball is how you get machines down there. We have to do a temporary sort of driveway and to do one little section to bring all that stuff in. It's probably somewhat cost prohibitive, and so it's probably easier. It's like putting a laminate floor over your old linoleum.
Right, I
It's
think
just
it'd be worth checking because
I
Yeah.
think
it's,
Matt Cooey said something about the surface underneath the tiles was really bad, like it needed to be redone. So this was like a way to fix it without having to tear
There's a
it.
cheaper alternative without having to replace the.
Apparently the technology now of the sport courts is way better, but. He said this is.
But he's gonna say that no matter what.
Yeah.
I would say it's 45.
Yeah.
because I mean, it like deters us from using this tennis. Because it's.
Okay, I mean, that's good feedback.
Yeah.
I mean, I would ask the people that did our pickleball courts, whoever it was, I mean, there's
Yeah.
gotta be a record somewhere of the contractors that put in bids for that. I mean,
Middleton just got new tennis courts.
Yeah,
So like,
What's it, Midwest seal coating, it goes. Cause they had to come back and redo them, cause they screwed up.
They measure.
The stanchions were in the wrong spot.
Oh, no.
it was big.
Maybe you don't want to go back with them.
Well, this one they only
Oh,
have
okay.
to do one.
That's true.
I don't actually think it was the port though, it was the net.
The net, the stanchions that they put
Right.
into the blacktop were off.
Well, I was gonna ask, did that get destroyed at all, like any of the, like the net and the, like, do we have to replace that?
I don't think it was there.
It was-
already taken
No,
out.
it was already taken down.
One of the poles got it though.
Okay,
I
I just
think-
was curious, cause I didn't know if I saw
It's
that,
the one-
it might have been on there.
It would be nice to get an estimate on what it would be. to
Put
have
that one on the, I mean, those.
Mhm.
Close to the road, yeah. That'd be right on that.
Yeah, we can definitely look into that, Sarah. Anything else?
Yeah,
on-
I would ask Matt
Fair.
to refresh that, cause he said something about the condition underneath it.
Okay,
Like, I'm looking at a $45,000 court. I don't know a lot about blacktopping and concrete, but. I blew your driveway for 20 grand, I don't know.
mhm.
Yeah, it's like 50,000, 49,892, or
Yeah.
whatever, that's why I was like, what? And then the other estimates, like the ballpark fence was like 13 and change.
Yeah.
14,
Mhm.
tennis court was 13 and change on the 16.
Yeah,
There's Samaritan proposed over 16 and change,
yeah,
and other than for 50.
right.
That being said, too, though, like the outside fence, if they can't make it look normal. Will they agree, just tear it down and put it all up? New, cause like
Yeah,
they
I
have
don't
to do two whole sides of it, right?
Yeah, we should do something.
They have to do
I like
both
to look this
sides.
green, but at the same time,
Well,
if it's gonna look. Half-assed.
Yeah, I wonder if I can like see if he can like show what the difference is gonna be in color. Like, I don't know
Even
how,
if you can just do the ends, cause the ends are fine, leave the ends green and then leave the other ones completely.
black.
Whatever you get, yeah.
I think that's the color that everybody uses, so.
That's my thought, I don't know what you guys' thoughts are, cause
It is gonna look funny if it's like, one panel is this, and one panel is that.
I know the problem you're gonna have, cause I had someone, basically, there was an accident from one of my properties and they hit my wood fence, and I tried to get them to let me restain the whole thing. 'cause I'm
And
like,
they would
"Let's
only-
match now. Like, and
Yeah.
you know, like when I pushed, they gave me a little extra.
Mhm.
But they would not go for like painting the whole fence, and I'm like, well, I have to now, this doesn't look right, it's stupid.
Dumb.
Why is it my fault that your driver did this?
Right,
Uh,
exactly.
So I don't know. And maybe maybe it's a question for the attorney to the village attorney of saying, hey, look, what are our rights here?
so has the village contact, like, do we have an insurer? For something like that, if these guys. don't
Yeah,
have
yeah, we
insurance?
have our own insurance.
Is it worth
but-
reaching out to them to say like, this is what's going on, because a lot of times, like,
Yeah.
once you get another insurance company involved, because I did this all the time with automotive. Once like, so like, let's say I hit Jed's car,
Yeah,
Jed doesn't like what my insurance is doing, Jed goes to his insurance company and they're like, nope, we're gonna fix it how you want it.
yeah,
And then the insurance company, you end up paying your deductible with the insurance companies and subdivided
yeah.
and.
I think that's the only thing is we just have to pay the deductible
Yeah.
for ours. And I think that was why because I had talked to him initially, like our insurance provider, the villages, and he was like, I mean, you can go through Progressive and just see what happens. And then, yeah, maybe we do go back to them and say, hey, this is what they're doing to us.
I think it'd be worth at least a
Okay.
phone call, or like if
Okay.
you feel like you get.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't want it to look
Six panels.
weird. I mean,
Pre-accident condition.
and I mean, it's in a pretty visible spot.
Yeah.
It's not like people aren't gonna see it, you know?
I think that like the quality of the parks and recreation companies is like one of the things that's really great about us and like.
Yeah.
We want it to look good, we want.
Mhm.
Not just a place that we slap together.
Yeah, I'll do some more digging and see if we can get a better deal.
One other thing I had thought of, and obviously this would be more work, but a lot of like standalone tennis courts like this, you'll see one end has a wall. Where someone can go and hit on their
Oh,
own.
yeah. Mhm.
I don't know what the cost difference would be. but
Sarah's like, yes, do it.
That's another thing that's good for.
Because there's a lot of tennis courts that have like a wooden wall. Where someone can go and practice on their own.
Well, and yeah, you can do that for lacrosse too. Keep-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids will throw a ball.
When I was a
You
kid,
go
I
to
used to hit
Glacier
against the
Wall.
garage door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I did when I was a kid, just sit hit against the garage door, so if you don't have anybody else to play with, then you just wanted to practice. And even for the lessons that they do, I mean, how nice would that be? To be able to, for kids to just sit back and forth, so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we can look into that for sure.
Right, so that wraps that one up.
What, can I
Okay.
say one, sorry?
Yeah, please.
One last thing. As much as I love pickleball, the one thing with this, is because I don't think we wanna add like wind blocks, and we don't have wind blocks in the walls, so I don't know if that's where. People play,
Just leave it standalone tennis.
I mean, people still play pickleball,
Yeah.
so maybe they still walk the lines down. There's a bit of animosity between the pickleballers and the tennis players. So
Just like skiers and snowboarders.
very.
80s and 90s.
Ooh.
Discussion and possible action regarding park locations for Marchstone development.
All right, so I guess I can show this first. So this is just kind of a rough drawing from Jeff. I'll show you like the context of this. So this is like Burr Oak over here, and like Stagecoach and all those homes, the Earth homes are over here. And then this is their proposal for a 6-acre park and the water reservoir. So I'll show you on that, just like zoomed out so you can kind of visualize this a little bit. Yeah, so this is the whole thing. I'm gonna try to zoom in and make this usable. Okay, so we're looking at, so right up here is phase 1. So Thinnest is up here. Glacier is right over here. And so this is the rest of the development. So this is the golf course, obviously. And these are, I mean, subject to change. Like this was a concept plan from April. So like things are likely going to change. But what he's looking at is like right here. So this is, and then down here, this is 14. So it's pretty steep.
So it's up there at the top, they're gonna have trouble building anyway, and they're gonna have lots of trees that they have to tear down,
So that's why they'd like to make it a park. So yeah, so that's, I'll pull that other one up.
Problem is that's not gonna probably be dedicated for about 10 years, because they're not gonna get to phase 3 until they do 1, 2 in the golf course,
So they're only looking at 2 phases now.
Okay,
So they say that everything else they're gonna have in front of us in May. The rest of the development beyond phase 1. So the water agreement is on the village board agenda on Monday, or for next Monday. So that will include the water reservoir. So the village board decided they wanted a reservoir and not a water tower. And so the best place to put the reservoir, of course, is on a high point, which happens to be right in this vicinity, which is also interesting because, so Burr Oak, we wanted to make that a connection point, so that, residents in this part of the subdivision could easily get onto 14. But the town did not want to work with us. And so they actually are putting a cul-de-sac right here, so that there cannot be any village connection. But we like staff like the idea of a park being there though, because then it would be ours and there wouldn't be homes there. So if the town ever had a change of heart, then we could connect in some way. So that's just kind of like a side note. Like, yeah, so they're thinking that, I mean, the reservoir wouldn't take up much space, but I mean, you would have like a water reservoir in the park, but I've seen that. So I don't know. But
it's basically it's not a large retention pond, is it? It's like fresh water that you would use.
So it's like the one.
It's yeah, like it's
You can see, if you ever go out on the Ice Age Trail and go to the Christmas tree, you can actually see it in the fall once the leaves are gone. It'd be similar to it.
Yeah, they did. I got to go inside of it.
Did you really?
Mhm. I took some pictures.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so something like, I mean, we're gonna try to make it look as nice as
The
possible.
developer wanted honor town
No,
because it looks a certain way.
but anyway, so yeah, it's gonna be an on-ground reservoir. But they really wanted me to find out what kind of park we wanted, so that's why I'm here. Yeah, Jill, go ahead.
I guess my concern, if it is a higher elevation. And all taxpayers in Cross Plains are going to be paying for this upkeep.
Mhm.
If we have people with disabilities who can't get up there,
Mhm.
then that really cuts off, not a huge population, but it does affect the number of people who can actually partake in the parks that they are helping to fund.
Mhm.
And I mean, the Ice Age Trail, we can't help it.
Yeah.
Because like, that's how it's built,
Mhm.
or that's how it is naturally there.
Mhm.
So as a resident, my reluctance is to be putting parks in areas that are not accessible to all taxpayers.
Do you have an idea of how far that is from phase one? I mean, I assume that that's,
Yeah, let me put
Good
up.
just-
Just a big map
okay.
again, cause
Yeah.
I'm a little, can you show us everything again?
Yeah,
It's
so this is
big.
Venice
Okay, yeah,
into airport, and then this is phase one.
yeah,
Glacier is right
right
here.
there, okay.
so the people in phase one are gonna have a really hard time making that accessible, which means they're all gonna come into the neighborhood that we
I
live
was gonna say,
in.
they're coming to your
And come
park.
into that little dinky
Yeah.
park, that
Or
was,
Bear Park.
well,
Yeah.
they're gonna come to the closest one, especially people with small children, you know, you're gonna generally walk the farthest. So then that is gonna overwhelm that little park that, you know, we've all contributed to. I mean, I think that was one of the things that I felt like the phase one, if they're not gonna build in a park, then maybe expand the one, because obviously that's village owned land there. I don't know if we used up all the land that was dedicated for that park. But
Right.
maybe there's some money to expand that for phase one.
Mm-hmm.
And show me again on this map where the park is,
Phase two, like over here.
cause it just feels like that's just like,
It's not
So
accessible to like
far.
anybody in phase one.
yeah, it's so far.
And it's all woods, right? I mean, that's all the way up, that's not
And,
cornfield, that's.
Like in here is where he wants his like big homes. You know, like,
Is it gonna be the golf course then that's in between? the
so
two
this is all
phases?
golf course, yeah.
Okay.
All of these are all the different holes, like that's hole
I see.
18, 11, 12, 10. And this is the little,
There's a picture there.
Yes.
I agree, this is.
the like
They're
clubhouse.
supposed to.
Yeah.
put it all down here.
Yeah, that's really far.
That's a long ways.
Yeah.
They're not gonna build there for a long time. You're just gonna have a park in the middle of nowhere. You think people with kids are gonna climb a giant hill into the woods?
No, it's totally a phase two park. Phase one gets nothing out of the deal.
Yeah, there's
It's
nothing.
too far away. Stand your park, because that's where the, absolutely that consent. Or do something to do both. But.
The problem is they wanna make as much money as they can in phase one to
Mhm.
help them fund all the other stuff, and so then it becomes a. You know,
Okay, so I'm hearing we want to know more about the elevation. So that,
Yeah, like, because like, is it like, you're, like,
Are the
is it the elevation where the whole, like, you already would have gotten driven up and you're up high, or is it like? Now you're at the bottom and now I have to get up, like, a
Yeah.
hill, you know what I mean?
Right.
In my.
it also,
stroke.
yeah, it also depends on how much earthwork they're planning to do. Like,
The
I don't,
big park,
yeah,
Probably not, because it's just a big. So you just. Because, yeah, I think there's a difference between, oh, it's up high, but I'm driving up here and I'm parking and I'm getting out versus I have to get out and walk up this big hill.
yeah.
And how many people who are paying the most money for their homes in the development? They're not,
gonna have.
well, they're not gonna want people parking on their roads.
And they're probably not gonna have little kids, these are.
Let's put everybody in their car seats and drive up to the park.
I don't know.
No,
Drive
no.
over at Pioneer Point, like, the amount of kids in that neighborhood, 1.2, $1.5 million homes is astonishing. Cause I
Yeah.
thought the same thing, like, these people aren't gonna have kids.
But they all have
A
kids?
lot of them are bigger.
Tons of kids, oh, there's tons of kids.
Sorry, I don't have their own playgrounds in their backyards. And they will use this park minimally because it's a pain in the ass to get to.
Mhm.
So from a rough estimate, from roughly where the school is to where that park is, I calculate about half a mile. So for most of the people in phase one, it's about a half mile from them
So they will not be using this park.
now.
So it is for this
Oh, God, let's not.
subdivision.
Don't say those
It's
words.
literally just for these.
That's where all your, because they wanna build the big houses on the hill that are overlooking the
Yeah.
golf courses, and so, yeah, it doesn't do us any good, and then you stick the water reservoir in there, which is gonna be ugly.
Right.
So now you're gonna have to try and put a bunch of trees to keep that hidden, which is gonna
And
take
you
a
have
bunch
to
of your.
fence
park
it or
space.
something, right?
And the question is
Mhm.
what kind of lighting is gonna be there? I mean, if you're gonna send families and people there, there's no lighting up there, and there won't be any lighting for a long time, and now it's unsafe because you're in the middle of nowhere.
At the top of the hill.
You and Michael are gonna get along great. Hear that, Michael?
I'm sure you did. Yeah, he's still on.
So could they still reserve that land and then like put whatever funding they would put for equipment in another, like, glacier?
Well,
dam?
usually you dedicate the land, and then there's what, then the park fees is part of that.
Yeah.
But you can do fees in lieu of the land, which is usually what they wanna do, because the more land they have, the more houses they can build.
Right,
And
absolutely.
so I, in this instance, would rather have money to go towards the park
Right.
near our neighborhood, because not only does it help all those, you get the kids from the middle school that could potentially come across and use it. I don't think they do much anymore, but.
But a lot of them that go to Glacier, the park behind Glacier too.
Yeah, they're actually looking to expand that this summer.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
This is a completely unrelated to parks, but do we know yet where they'll go to elementary school? Just asking. No.
I don't know.
Okay, they
I
haven't.
don't
they haven't-
know. Well, I think the school district is starting to. I
I'm
think I have a
guessing the
couple of
one-
ideas.
the phase ones, well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm just, I'd be curious to see if they go to Sunset or to Park.
It's when I talked to Dana the first time, it was like potentially dividing. Some at Sunset, some at Park.
So it's not such a burden on either
Yeah.
one.
But I mean, she said we had to look at capacity and numbers and all of that stuff in the schools at that time, so. But, okay, so if yes or no on the park that they are proposing?
No, right now.
No for now, okay.
I would
And
say, I mean, if they wanna do that as a park for that development. Sure, but not for the entire project. I mean, I think that's what they're trying to do is get.
I think they're trying to get away with having a bigger park and then just counting that as the Marchstone Park.
Yeah, because they can't really use it anyway, and it's gonna be super expensive, but it's not gonna be utilized by. phase
Because
one,
if we
so-
if we had a bigger park, we'd want it to be able to do like soccer fields or like stuff like that, right? That
Now
kind of
If
is
you have a
a,
big forested park, I don't think we've got the Ice Age Trail, if you wanna go walk in the
Yeah, but
forest.
that's not gonna satisfy our
I'd be
needs.
interested in knowing what kind of school park you're talking about, like, cause that size development, like, what the fees would be for that. Like, what the village would gain, you could
Mhm.
build park like Glacier Ave.
yeah.
And I think that would actually be kind of awesome if they did a huge park like that.
Have just a big playground up here? Okay.
I mean, sure, but like. You didn't.
I wish there was elevation, I mean,
Yeah, and I mean, there kind of is on the other one.
put it in, it's gonna
I'm
be
gonna bring it up.
curved sidewalk.
Like you can see this is like really, really steep.
Yeah, it's before it hits the huge hill.
Yeah, this is the hugest one. Like these are kind of your topography lines.
The fact that they want to put the reservoir there is good for the rest of the village, though.
Yeah, Brian Berquist kind of picked that spot.
That helps the big water issue, like the east and valley,
Yeah,
they'll have ample water pressure.
yeah. So, okay, would we want to look into like smaller parks? Would there be another proposition to do something smaller somewhere else? Or we just like the idea of amping up the one we already have?
Well, I mean, we can suggest it all they want, but
Yeah.
they're just gonna say, well, that's gonna cost too much and whatever else, I mean, they're gonna do what they wanna do, I would just say that doesn't. It doesn't seem reasonable for the phase one. And, I mean, I'd rather have a smaller one up there and give us the money to do the other stuff, but.
Okay.
I think I've heard that, I mean, look, they're running a business, I get it, they don't wanna spend any money, they don't have to. And it all comes down to negotiations, but
What was the total that the village
I
got
know
for
it's not valuable real
the
estate,
phase
but
one?
like to
for Parks
me,
and
the
Rec?
best place would be to put it right.
How
on
much
it.
did
So
we
then you
totally
got
get?
people from
Well,
over
we
here,
waived
get to it,
everything.
People from up there, we get to
But
it,
there was
like,
still something they were giving.
you know, like, something.
well, but you have to factor in, like, they've already got this course kind of designed and fit into where they want it, and anything that you move, now you've got.
You're
deeper
gonna,
earth.
yeah, and then they are
I
losing
think
lots,
of, like those four houses on the end, but right there, that's.
like right here.
Like, nope, over, left, down. Right, like right where the main entrance kind of is.
Oh, right here?
there, like somewhere, I'd like, so that it could reach the people on this side and. Reasonably, the phase one could get there and the phase two could
The
get there.
problem with that is you're putting it next to the golf course.
Yeah, and those are some big
Public-
lots.
And they don't want the public.
That's
to
what's
the
it, that's
golf course.
valuable real estate right there.
Yeah, you got that.
Yeah, nobody, they want a house there, but like, if you were gonna pick a location.
Where's the clubhouse supposed to be?
It's right here.
Oh.
So, yeah.
You should ask if they're gonna have a
There.
park. You should ask if they'll have a park at the clubhouse.
A park at the clubhouse.
Public little playgrounds.
Only-
That
I
many?
mean, no, but I think about like the Blackhawk, like everything, like, I mean, I'm not saying that I know that those communities inside and out, but they have some soccer fields, everybody's got their own.
Yeah.
And own basketball courts, everything is their own,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm just wondering. How much utilization of. Public parks.
Are they still doing like the family fun course? Or is that-
Yeah, they are the par 3
Yeah.
course.
Well, there's gonna be a part three, and I think there's like.
And the little
Hunting,
Sorry.
last year,
Yeah.
January. That's the public thing.
public thing. Mm-hmm.
Cause I mean, I'm sure they'll just have like, you can buy balls here and they're still generating revenue off that, but.
Yeah.
I mean, use it,
I mean, the 6 acre could be a disc golf course.
not with all those trees.
You should find out if they plan on cutting. 'Cause
Like what they
I
would
would
do
imagine
with that?
if They're going that far for the development, they're gonna have to kind of clear cut do it.
Not any trees, they don't have to, because it's expensive, because now you've got to cut it, you've got to move it, you've got to pull the roots out, you're not cutting any trees that you don't have to, especially when you build a golf course. You're only building, you're only taking out what you have.
There's a lot of crap up there though. They did a tree study and they kind of like showed us the results and it was a lot of invasive. So there's not a lot that they're really gonna be able to save. But I don't know, we'll see.
I mean, just me speaking out loud personally, I mean, I know they wanna maximize the number of places where they can put houses, and quite honestly, I would rather see them build houses and give us the money. I mean, we have that land and there's no good place that they're gonna wanna put it there, they're not gonna put it anywhere down below and up on top in phase two, doesn't help the people in phase one. And that's gonna be a long time away, I would rather see them put money towards.
The pool?
Big park and pools. I just don't, if that's what they wanna do, let them develop it, let them put more houses in and use that revenue that they generated to help in the areas that we need it.
I agree.
We kind of need them reservoir.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
mean,
saying-
it's not gonna be 6 acres that we need.
Exactly,
Yeah,
I mean, it should be, I mean, cut it down to 2 or 3, have your reservoir, I mean, you can still have a little sitting area or, you know, whatever they're gonna do with it. but-
sure.
But I don't see any value in 6 acres. I mean, the reason they wanna give 6 acres there is it's probably not usable and feasible to build houses, which is
Mhm. So
the.
they're like, we'll give it to the
We'll
village.
dump it off. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, that's what they did in our neighborhood. I mean, we have that sledding hill. I mean, the sledding hill's there because you can't build on it. So it's like, hey, here you go, we'll give you this part.
Yeah.
So, you give away the unusable parts, but then that doesn't really benefit the community much. What we need is, we've already got some land adjacent to there that we have plenty of room in. That park is not gonna be able, I mean, that park is designed for a neighborhood of 42 homes.
Mhm.
If you triple that, quadruple that in that first phase, well, that stuff's gonna wear out, and that's not fair to us who paid for that in our home taxes. So use that money over there. I mean, I would use all of the park money that all these homes pay should all go towards the pool and that, in my opinion.
The little trapezoid is where they should just do it
About the little trapezoid.
up from where you're at.
How many homes are in?
Oh, that one right there?
Right here.
There. Central of the entire neighborhood.
That's not far from my ideal location.
Oh yeah, you were over here, so you didn't go
Yeah,
that.
I mean, it's basically the same.
But again, I mean, you're talking about $1 million home.
Yeah.
You're gonna take out $1 million home and put a park in? There's no
6 of
way.
them.
Yeah, he doesn't want to do that.
There's no way. I don't think that makes business sense. And again, it's like, let him have his $1 million home there, but then as the benefit to that is then you gotta give us the trade-off and help us in the areas that where we need it.
Mhm.
I mean, cause most of these people who are moving in, I don't think are necessarily looking for a park. I mean, they're moving there for the golf course.
Or they're gonna, like whoever said they're gonna put some big fancy thing in their way.
Mhm.
I mean, the people in phase 1, I don't necessarily think are moving specifically for the golf course, cause they're not gonna be
They're not.
near it.
Right.
I mean, they're looking for a home in a community of ours that, they're in a good school district and, they're
Yeah.
gonna be near a good development and they know that their housing prices will probably go up in the future.
Right.
Because the rest of it's going in.
Mhm. Okay. Do other people agree with that? Cody
What's
doesn't know. About the donate or using the funds towards the current park and then the pool. And just cut down on the 6 acre. Okay.
I would give them whatever they need for the reservoir. I mean, I don't know if that reservoir should count towards park. I don't know if that's, I assume whatever that portion isn't part of their park donation, but they're just adding it in there.
We're asking them to donate the land
Okay,
because that they are benefiting from that as well. It's not just a village reservoir. Yeah.
but if they wanna have. 2 acres or 3 acres maybe is half of what it is for the other half of their development there in the top.
They'd
They're
have
not
to have,
necessarily post.
they'd have to have that reservoir in. Before that development can really start developing.
It will be, yeah. Mhm. All right. I'll throw that idea by them. We'll see. I don't know, I don't know. We'll see what happens. You can never predict with developers.
Find some other support for our pool.
You're gonna pay for it.
That you're gonna pay for it.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah. All right, anything else on that?
What size homes are they talking about building on a 16,000 square foot lot?
I don't know yet. I haven't seen anything.
Do we have any start date for development?
Yeah, so they can't, so per our ordinance, they're not allowed to start earth disturbing until May 1, but they're requesting to start earlier. So they're requesting to start March 23rd.
So they were told, like, if I look on realtor.com, are there like lots?
Yeah, most of them are sold.
listed? Okay, I haven't looked, so
Like $2 grand or something, so.
just for the
They
lot.
look quick.
Yeah.
I haven't, yeah.
So they're trying to move as fast as they can. So the village board has to allow them to do that. So they have to come and say, hey, we want to do this and we'll start at this time, And I think our engineer was saying that, you know, you want to stick to like more of the roadway stuff when it's still, you know, it's not warm out yet. So,
That's like an AI generated photo, obviously, but those.
Here in the same trip.
but anyways, so they would like to start as of May or March 23rd. But the village board can
And
decide.
it's just infrastructure roads.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, they're gonna have to present what they want to start. So yeah, it'll be happening soon. All right, anything else on that?
We need a motion for that, or is that something you can just take to them, bring back to us?
I think I can,
Feedback or?
yeah, I don't think it's like a formal recommendation. It's more of a, I'll just provide feedback, because I'm not like bringing it to the village board for a recommendation or anything like that. Or for action, rather.
All right. Discussion and possible action regarding community garden in Westview Park.
Yeah, so this one was, I just had a resident call. She lives in one of the like multifamily residences along Westview Park. And she had a community garden last year, or she had a garden in that parcel last year, where a lot of kids from Westview Park would kind of come in and tend the garden. And so she's wanting to expand it into the park. And so that's something that I didn't know how I felt about. It is allowed, so it's, so I was looking in the zoning code, and if they would have to do I think I put it here, yeah. A community garden, they have to provide a site plan to the zoning administrator for approval, and I'm the zoning administrator, so they would have to put a site plan together, you know, that, you know, and show that, you know, structures are a minimum of 5 feet from the lot line, you know, making sure that like all of the things that are outlined here, structures and things like that, you know, would be approvable. But yeah, I just wanted to bring this here first.
Where do they get water?
I don't know that yet. It was just a very general conversation I had with her, and I said I was gonna bring it here, and then I can call her tomorrow with
When I
any
was
other
like,
questions.
we went over to their community garden because there's no water there, so we had to hook up to a fire hydrant and water their community garden with fire hoses.
My goodness.
So.
The water, yes.
So it's obviously
Very
a nice thing, but
Yeah.
like if you don't have the water to keep your crops growing. I mean, and it could be, I don't know if there's a house nearby or something that they can. And maybe they'll let us do, I mean, what did they do last year? Every year they put in our park and they just tapped in the little garden hose off of the fire hydrant and then put a meter on it for that tree that they put up there. I mean, maybe they could do that for them, but I don't think anybody wants to do that on a semi-permanent basis, so. That's gonna be the most important thing is how are they gonna water this thing?
Okay.
So, wait, so just looking at a level set, she has done something in a space, like a courtyard. Space,
Yeah, I'm
and
thinking,
then asked us to expand it.
yeah, so it would be like in the park. So I'm assuming she's at one of like maybe this apartment complex and had it in here, and then wants it to be more out in the park.
So does she wanna move it or does she just wanna make it bigger?
She wants to make it bigger.
I mean, I feel like you could totally let her submit a plan, like that doesn't mean that it has to be approved, but like.
To just react to it
Like,
and see how
yeah.
big the thing is.
Unless the answer is no, but I mean, I think, you know, to say, well, we consider it, but like.
You have to
We
go through
wanna
these
see what
steps.
the plan is, and we, like you said, like, where are you gonna get water and what are their. you
The
know,
other
what are you
concerns are
providing?
is generally if you're gonna create a garden, you're gonna have to rototill it, you're gonna have to dig down. And then if she abandons it in a year, is she gonna make it right, or then we have to come in and fill it in? The other thing is generally with animals, you're either gonna wanna have some kind of a raised bed or some type of a wood structure to get above and some fencing. Now she's putting fencing that could encroach on that, and I'm not necessarily against that, but those are all the.
It just looks like a big enough space to do it not in the park, like, but maybe not.
And I don't know if it's this one. I mean, it could be, she said it's in one of the multifamily homes along Westview Park, so I would assume it's one of the three. But I just don't know which one.
of the home's property that she's on this business, like, is that?
Is she just a
first
tenant?
okay?
Yeah.
Does she have the permission of the owner of
Yeah.
whatever she's using right now to do what she's doing?
Sure.
And then before we even, because, right, when she abandons it, now, or if they pull back, now we have something else.
That we have to take care of. Yep.
Right, so I guess I'm kind of curious about that too.
Okay.
I would just want to know more details, because I'm not opposed to the idea of the community garden, especially for families in that area that.
Yeah, she said that like people,
But
kids in the area were kind of helping her already with the one she had, and so that's why she wanted to expand it. And so I was like, I mean, the idea sounds
Who does
good.
food go to?
She said that people were picking whatever they wanted, families. So I don't know if
I saw a Facebook post about that.
I
I
mean,
think it's the same woman.
about this, about here,
I mean, that gets tough because, you know, like, as someone who shared a garden with a neighbor once and they stopped doing it at my house because they did all the work and then I got the fruits of the labor, it, you know, it can quickly, go out of there.
Yeah.
I also think that if it's only benefiting that section, then they should keep it on their property. If they're gonna offer it to Northwest Dane or, you know, somebody else in the community, or, you know, donate any of the extra to needy families in the whole community, I feel a lot
Mhm.
different about sharing our space.
Well, that's what I was thinking, I couldn't remember, it's been a number of years now, but is there another community garden in Cross Plains?
I got washed away in the flood.
Yes.
Something
I
came
just
back, did it?
Yes, and Michael kind of tends that garden.
Is it still there, kind of?
And I don't know if Michael wants to, comment on his own, but
Mhm.
I had an idea of, having a community garden plot for campers. And so I had reached out to Michael,
Yeah.
and the problems are, it doesn't drain well.
The current one?
The current one by the creek doesn't drain well, the soil, either because it doesn't drain well, or the soil is compacted, so if you try to grow carrots, like nothing happens. You try to grow a tomato and the roots don't go deep, they just. And if you can manage to grow anything, the groundhogs will
Yeah,
devour
that's
it.
what I thought.
So
Groundhog
just
problem.
kinda A lot of upkeep or just gonna die.
Or not.
Sounds
It-
like just
That's
kind
what
of
I-
like
Yeah,
die
it doesn't
away.
produce well, and what you
Right.
do produce, you don't actually get to take home.
Well, if you don't have any fencing, you're feeding half wild animals
Yeah.
and half people.
That's right.
Well, think about East Wash, how people like set up the community gardens along the railroad tracks, you guys ever know about that, like.
Yeah,
Anyway, it just kind of is like homeowners just kind of like popping
do
something
their
up,
thing.
you know? But I wasn't sure if we still had a sanctioned community garden
Yeah.
already.
Michael, did you want to say anything about the garden?
No, I don't think so. I think that covered it pretty well, what's going on down by the creek.
All
It's,
right. Thanks, Michael.
yeah.
All right, so I will just get some more information from her.
Yeah.
I'll have her submit some sort of site plan and we'll go from there and see if it's something that I can even approve on my end before I bring it back here. All right, I think that's everything I had.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion in the second, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Are
Thanks, everyone.
Adjourned.
Thank you.
we gonna have another meeting anytime soon?